Alright, what's up, fam? Hope everyone is having an excellent weekend here so far. It is Sunday, it is time to dive into some prep for this week. And let's see what this week has in store for us. As usual, we're going to start here with the economic calendar, which we can find here over at Market Watch. Right, as always, come up here, hit this economy button, and then come over and hit US economic calendar, and you can see what we have coming up here for the week. And just taking a quick little look here, nothing too crazy here. Oh, but we do have Jackson Hole here coming up this week. The annual meeting here at Jackson Hole. Let's see what the Fed has in store for us. And let's see, we'll get some opening statements here from Uncle Powell on Friday, mid-session. So let's see, could shake us up a little bit here going into the close of the week. But overall, nothing too crazy, not really like a ton of Fed speakers here prior to Jackson Hole, so maybe they kind of leave us in peace here for most of the week. Let's go ahead and jump over here and also check out the Federal Reserve Board calendar itself. Always like to check to see if they have any little surprises here for us. And let's see, tomorrow is the 21st. Oh, we do have, let's see, a little speaker here on Wednesday. But looks like nothing too wild either, and just Powell here again on Friday. So I'm mostly looking to Powell here on Friday, but that's really it. Let's check out earnings here. This earnings can, of course, always be found here from our good friends here, eWhispers. They have a website, but I always just come here to Twitter or to X, and they post it here every week. So getting kind of slim here now on earnings for the week, but one big one this week for sure. We have Nvidia after the close here on Wednesday. Nothing else too wild here besides that. Still got a lot of retail coming through. Retail has been strong. So expect probably some decent numbers out of these retail names. But definitely most of the market here will be waiting for this Nvidia earnings to drop. Wouldn't be surprised if we get some decent little chop here early this week as we move into these Nvidia earnings. I'm sure a lot of tech names will be preparing to move in tandem with whatever the reaction is to Nvidia right here. But alright, let's go ahead and dive into some charts here. Again, if anyone has any names they want me to check out, please drop them into the YouTube chat. I will check them out and put them through my little prep screen here at the very end. Alright? But alright, let's get started here. ES starting to really drop down out of all of this consolidation we've been in here the past couple days, past couple weeks even, right, in a slow drip here from this top at 46.34.5. So after some work here and chop, a lot of heavy chop at the mean, losing that mean, getting that drop, and we are now under all of our major daily moving averages. We still have the 200 way below down here at 41.51, but we still have some room to go before that becomes a concern. For right now, just looking at this weekly mean that we have right here, I have my means in this like tan or cream color, and I have my daily here in a solid line, and I have my weekly here in a dashed line. Also got this weekly 15 simple moving average as our one above here, and we're starting to get some lower time frame squeezes popping up as we start to kind of settle in between these two weekly moving averages. Got us a 1 hour right here and a 30 minutes. So I'm sure we will very soon see a 2 hour and a 4 hour start to pop up if we don't get out of this little zone right here. Another big thing I'm keeping my eye on here is this daily Ichimoku cloud. We have now cracked into this cloud, and we're not too far off from the bottom right here. Also kind of near a psych level of 4,300. So keeping an eye here on this 4315-ish, 4,300 in reference to this daily Ichimoku cloud bottom. So definitely looking for possibly a bounce here. You know, I also love that this is right on a pretty decent psychological level here of 4,300. Could see some nice support there. Maybe we get a nice bounce. We are also at a crucial level here from when we rolled over through this quarter, right at the beginning of it, right? This is lining up to where we have already bounced at here on Friday. So keeping a very close eye on this 4350, along with this weekly mean right here, and a decent psych level here of 4350, right? Robots as well as us humans love those nice big round numbers. And then yeah, as you know, if we do crack below this 4350, looking at this 4300-ish below as a target. Let me throw my spaghetti on here, get a little closer, and yep, I got this daily Ichimoku bottom marked right here. So looking at these two levels as ultimately a downside target if we do crack under this 4350. And for the bounce, you know, just looking to work our way back up to this previous consolidation we had here in the last couple of days. And we of course have this June point of control here near this 4420. Really like this 4420 as an upside target here if we can start to work our way back up. Pretty low on these Keltners here as well. So as I was saying here in my previous preps and this week during our live sessions, you know, really expecting ES to catch a bounce somewhere here, you know, especially above this 4,300. You know, does it come tomorrow? Does it come this week? Hard to know that. Could be a slow base and then maybe we pop. But I'm at least expecting, you know, a solid hold here between this 4,300 and this 4,350. I don't think we'll give up this zone that easily here. But alright, let's move on here. NQ. NQ, of course, here with a similar setup as we expect these major indices to move together. Also have this daily Ichimoku cloud just, or the bottom just below here. Not too far off. And again, always looking for some other kind of combined support here. We have a nice psych level of 14,500 here on NQ near the bottom of this daily Ichimoku cloud. Also gets us here to near the bottom of this third Keltner channel as well. So between these things, just like ES, looking for some combined support here. Not saying we get a V, but maybe it is a slow base. We get a U or a W, and we start to work our way back up to these daily moving averages. So yeah, you know, and again, another one here, we have this weekly mean also right at this 14,500. Just kind of expecting us to slow down here a bit after a couple pretty strong days to the downside, right? They kind of let it slow drip for a little bit, as we can see right here. Let's zoom this in a little bit. And then they really let it go here in the past couple days. So you know, as always, this is psychology more than anything, right? After 3 strong days to the downside, a ton of retail traders are going to have FOMO coming up this week. They're going to want to get into some downside positions because this thing just keeps dropping, right? And they're just going to slow burn this thing and go sideways, right? Another handful of traders are going to be jumping in for the V-shaped recovery that they expect to happen in the first 30 minutes of the week, right? So don't be that person either. Let things unfold, right? Especially at the beginning of the week. You know, it's very common that on a Monday we see the high of week or the low of week. So it's really important to be patient here, especially on a Monday, especially at open, of course. You know, just take it slow. Let the market pick a direction and then hop in on a retest, right? Don't got to be the first person at the party. Let that keg drop. Let the keg get cold before you start showing up and trying to get some drinks out of it, right? All right. Ruddy. Our small caps here. In a similar situation, of course, Ruddy is usually the one of our 4 major indices that sometimes is a lone wolf that they beat up a little more outside of our major indices here. But with a similar setup here at this point in time, right? We're right at this daily Ichimoku bottom. We actually already caught a bounce right at it here on Friday. And in combination with that, right, we also have, you know, price action deep into this third Keltner channel to the downside. Right, so again, just expecting, you know, ultimately a little base here and maybe some upside, right? Or at least a little base to let these Keltners start to move back down and then eventually get more downside, right? Always just playing probabilities over here, you know. Can we continue to get some violent downside? Of course. But more probable is, you know, slowing down of price action, maybe a little base, then maybe a continuation to the downside, or maybe eventually a pop, right? But I know that at this point in time, most likely, you know, this index, like the other indices, is going to maybe need a couple days to cool down, right? Maybe that gets us to NVIDIA earnings on Wednesday, and then we get another move, right? You know, we talked about it last week, last Sunday. We had FOMC minutes dropping on Wednesday, and I kept saying it. You know, maybe we get a small move Monday, get some chop Tuesday and most of Wednesday into that FOMC drop Wednesday afternoon, and then we get the move, right? And we got something pretty similar to that scenario. So just gotta let this thing cool down, right? You know, Ruddy, unlike the other indices, already down here at its daily 200 simple moving average right here that I have in this blue solid line. So expecting Ruddy to get some good support out of this daily 200, out of this daily Ichimoku bottom, and out of this third Keltner channel to the downside here. Right, and again, maybe it's a W, maybe it's a W, a U, right? Maybe we get continuation to the downside here in a couple days, right? Maybe we see, or most likely we're going to see a strong earnings from NVIDIA. They're going to rip tech to the upside, and then rotate out of YM, rotate out of Ruddy, and maybe give us some downside here middle of the week, right? So just have to be patient here again and just let, you know, Monday kind of unfold a little more before jumping into some heavy positions. And then, you know, once we get a little bit lay of the land here, we can start to make some moves, some heavier moves midweek. All right, now YM. YM still hanging on to this daily squeeze bottom. YM definitely been the strongest here of our major indices. As you can see, the only one here that hasn't cracked into this daily Ichimoku cloud just yet. But, you know, all the same, expecting here some support from the top of this cloud if we do come down and reach it. But also looking for some support here as well from this daily squeeze cloud bottom, right? we still have it here intact. It hasn't fired just yet. Let's see if we can start to crack back above this cloud and start to use it as support as opposed to some resistance as we were feeling here on Friday, right? As YM was maybe looking to fire this daily squeeze to the downside. Hopefully now we can crack back above this and use it as support and maybe get a little upside here this week. But again, keeping my focus on that NVIDIA earnings on Wednesday, really going to rock the market most likely. We should see some upside in tech, Wednesday afternoon. Thursday morning, right after NVIDIA reports Wednesday afternoon, or into the end of the week, right? Sometimes we see them delay the move a day, really mess up retail traders after a report comes out, and they make the move we ultimately think they should make a day later, right? Maybe on Friday. Mixed in with a little Powell speech early into the session, they really throttle this thing whatever direction they want to go. But again, I'm going to be patient, early in the week because I know that the fireworks are coming Wednesday afternoon, and so that means in session Thursday and Friday. Right, I want to save my firepower for the end of this week. And of course, I trade options, so that also means anything I'm going to play is going to be cheaper in the end of the week. So just got to show some patience here this week. All right, let's dive into some names here. Apple. Really taking some heat after this earnings. Really surprised here by Apple, but all the same here, really taking some damage, holding on to this third calendar channel to the downside here. And again, just kind of how I've been referring to these futures indices just now. Continuing to expect Apple here to try and hold up, right? Try and hold up at this third calendar channel to the downside, right? We are getting close here to a nice psychological level of 170. So maybe we see a little trip down there here ultimately before catching a solid bounce. But I want to see Apple maybe get back above this psychological level of 175 here that we've been rejecting since middle of the session Thursday, here Friday of course. Get back above it, use it as support, get back into this zone of consolidation, right? And then try to get above it here at this 180-ish. These squeezes here have fired, of course, but they continue to be key levels here from very recent past, so always great levels to refer to, right? Previous zones of consolidation are great targets after you have broken out of them, maybe for a retest or what have you. So let me throw some spaghetti on here, see what's up. And we got this point of control here in this zone of consolidation. Not surprised to see that here on Apple. So yeah, I really like this upside target of about 178 here this week. Again, could run in tandem with that NVIDIA earnings. So maybe we see a little more chop here or a trip to this 170 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and maybe a trip back up to this 178 Thursday and Friday. And then ultimately, right, we're trying to make a move back up to this daily mean here. But, we always say that after a shaky earnings, a name will usually need about a month or so to kind of cool down and get back into rhythm with the rest of the market. And, we still see it here, even with the largest name in the entire S&P. And with some other names we are going to look at here in a few minutes, of course. And starting to crack under this daily Ichimoku cloud. Starting to really lose it here after we were chopping at it. Let's check out this weekly maybe. Still pretty far off. I'm not going to worry about that now, I guess. Let's look at some contracts here on Apple real quick. Let's see, I'm sitting at about 175. Got this 182.5 at Beast. though kind of cheap. Don't really love it. Let's just check out this 180 real quick. Okay. So if you're new to us here at Predicted Trades, this is the main thing we offer here at Predicted Trades. It is this tool. It's called our Beast tool. And pretty much it just gives us optimal buy zones here on options contracts, as well as on equity. We have these zones pop up. So it really just gives us some levels to risk off every single day. Just automatically provided to members here right at open. So here we can see that on Friday, this contract, this 180 call for Apple expiring this week, opened right at our B zone right here. This highlighted green zone is our main buy zone here on an individual option contract, right? I'm looking at the 180 call here. So yeah, opened right here in this B zone, held our zone here pretty much most of the day, and actually broke up out of it just a bit and held it here into the end of the day. So really love that, you know, seeing some accumulation here of this contract right at our key zone here provided by our proprietary tool. So really like to see this, you know, this kind of gives us a hint that big money is loading into this contract and very likely is going to make it work for them, right? They're going to most likely bounce this name and gain some value here in these contracts. So really like that for Apple here for maybe some early upside tomorrow morning. Maybe in an attempt to break back above this 175 here. But we'll see. Of course, will depend on the entire market. All right, let's jump over here to AMD. AMD, again, going to have a little extra attention this week, right, because of NVIDIA earnings. Chips will run with chips, most likely. So just taking a peek here, AMD, of course, been one we've been talking about every single day, trying to buy here at this 107, 106 level, right? Our daily squeeze bottom here was holding pretty well up at those levels, but with some recent downside here in the market, we have, of course, seen a little bit more downside here in AMD than what we have been seeing this past month, maybe 2 months now. Of consolidation here at about this 110. Right now we are about down here to this 100 once again. So wouldn't be surprised if we do see a little trip here to this 100 maybe before this NVIDIA earnings drops, and then maybe with some positive earnings from NVIDIA we get that buy here, especially in chips, and we get a nice bounce here from this daily squeeze bottom. As well as this key psych level of 100, right? Really want to see a move here to get back above this daily Ichimoku bottom as well, maybe here in the next couple days. Maybe the NVIDIA earnings will be just the fuel we need to crack back into this cloud. And the bottom of this cloud sits perfectly pretty much at 107, so this 107 continues to be a very important level for us here, even with our daily squeeze starting to drift below it. So yeah, just looking for a move back up here to this current point of control, to this daily mean, right, whatever it might be. But again, looking for a bounce here at this daily squeeze bottom, maybe at this key psych level of 100. Amazon down to the daily 50 here, which is what I have here in this gold solid line. Really like to see Amazon holding up here, you know, especially in this downside we've gone the last couple days. As you can see here, just referring to this daily chart, we did get that gap up from earnings here a couple weeks ago, but we are still inside of that gap and have not filled it. So let's see if Amazon can really get some support out of this daily 50, continue to hold this gap up, and get some upside here, maybe in combo again with some good Nvidia earnings, which will likely move all tech names. But really close to the daily mean here, so really like to see that for Amazon too. Again, pretty strong here in this drop. Of course, still feeling the drop, right? Not getting away from the drop from the entire market, but a little more resilient here, right? We've been really battling with this 130 here in the last couple of weeks, you know, through July, trying to stay above this 130, and here we are still above this 130 after that earnings. Let's see if we can defend this 130. And I really like to see that we have this daily Ichimoku top here, a little wavy, but we got it pretty much here at 130-ish for the next couple weeks. So let's see if we can get some support here as well in this general zone from this cloud and from these moving averages. So really like Amazon here. Let's just look at some contracts real quick. Looks like we got some more calls here at Beast. They're kind of cheap though, so not really going to pull too much information from there. So gonna just kind of let this one keep unfolding before I dive into some contracts here. Might need another day or two. Google, another name here, really strong even in this downside here the last couple of days in the market. Again, another one like Amazon, really nice gap up after earnings here, and holding, right? Holding this gap, you know, of course feeling the heat from the market here the past couple of days, but really overall holding up really well. Still very close here to the daily mean. Really want to see Google here continue to hold up, hold this key psych level of 125, right? We got this daily 50 moving up here as well to give us some combined support here at this 125 in case we do drop down to it. But let's see if we can continue to hold these lower time frame squeezes here. Oh, we got a 4-hour squeeze bottom here. I like that, right? Kind of a stronger time frame there as well. So let's see. Really want to see Google hold up here. Let's look at some contracts real quick. All a little bit far off from Beast. But let's just check out this 130 call. Yeah, I like that. Alright, Google, this 130 call. Okay, did break under our opening range buy zone here very early in the day on Friday, but you know, we did have some decent downside action, so not too surprised about that, but did continue to come up here and test this zone from below. So I do like the attempts to hold up the value here in this 130 call, right? Even though it was below our opening range buy zone here on Friday, just in general, right, we have some great consolidation in this price action, right? Just looking at these candles. And right around $1 too, you know, really like this buck here on any option contract. Definitely is a massive psychological level for retail traders and robots alike. So let's see, you know, really gonna wait until we open tomorrow to kind of look at this contract again. Though if I'm gonna play Google, it will be most likely this contract. We'll get a fresh opening range zone here tomorrow on that first print, of course, and we'll see. You know, most likely we'll see this opening range buy zone maybe right around this low or so. Depending on where it opens. But I like that. You know, we also are working our way closer here down to our actual beast zone on a key psychological strike. So again, you know, maybe still needs a little time here, but I know what strike I'm watching here, likely for the week on Google. And we'll just check out to the downside real quick, right? Always got to provide a downside thesis or an opposing thesis. Let's just check out this 125 put. And again, not surprised to see, you know, with that downside action we got, this baby got right up to our destination sell zone. Very nice. Kind of a hard one to jump in right at open, but a pretty decent move here from this 125 put. Really like seeing the support it got here at our opening range sell zone. Right, some nice bounces here. And again, this is kind of what I'm looking for when I'm watching contracts as well as my equity. Right, so you know, price action is kind of right in the middle of these two contracts. I picked two psychological key strikes, right, and with our beast tool here, you know, getting kind of a mirrored image, right? The call broke below the opening range buy zone and had some consolidation right up against it, but below it. And on the put side, right, we get the mirror image. We broke above our opening range sell zone here, right? Up above our opening range zone as a whole, and then are catching some bounces at the top of that zone. So again, you know, as you use this information while you're trading live, right, you should see when we do break one direction or another, you know, the levels that each one of these contracts was respecting will break. Right, the call will break to the upside. So Google is breaking to the upside, which will cause the put to break to the downside. Right, you want to see all these breaks happen at the same time, and that's how you get, you know, a great trade on your hands with some great catalysts on your side, and with really good probability on your side. Right. So all right, let's move on. Meta, really taking some heat here, right? From the top, you know, we were deep into this third Kellner channel to the top, to the upside, after that earnings gap up, right? Just like Amazon, just like Google. But giving it all the way up and coming all the way back here to this third Kellner to the downside here. So again, just like our indices, looking for some support here, maybe a slow base, but always have to keep in mind, right? You know, while this looks drastic here for Meta, in reality, if we also just start to scroll back here a bit, our old boy Zuck here has been on a tear this entire year, right? Like, let me go back to the entire year here. You know, beginning of the year, I know it's a little small, but I'll zoom back in. Meta was at about $1.25. Right, and we got up to 300 and some change here. And so we're just feeling a good breather. You know, we went on a tear here, didn't test the daily mean for a long time on Meta. So while this does look kind of doom and gloom here for Zuck, it's really not that bad. Really not that bad. Let's see if we can start to get some support here, and eventually catch a nice bounce here for Meta. Check out some levels here. Oh, another one here with the daily Ichimoku cloud. You know, seeing a lot of names as well as our indices really cracking into these daily Ichimoku clouds. So looking for some support here, right? Already pretty much caught a bounce at it here on Friday, but pretty close to this key psych level of 270, just a little bit above it. Let's see if we can hold just kind of this area right here. Let me throw my spaghetti at it. And yeah, I don't got really too much more here for some like key support on Meta, just some key levels below. But yeah, we'll see. You know, expecting Meta to just kind of start hanging on here, letting some of these bigger tech names start to realign again, because we had some great earnings here in this last round, and we also had some shaky ones as well, right? So as they all kind of cool down and realign, we should start to see some cleaner moves in tech, and maybe some cleaner moves in the market as well, right? I know the last couple of days have been pretty clear to the downside in the market as a whole, but there has been some tough weeks here as we have been kind of curling over in a larger time frame. But yeah, let's move on. Microsoft, another one that's just been kind of slow dripping here since that last earnings, just like I was just talking about. Starting to get down and crack into this third calendar channel to the downside, already below this daily Ichimoku cloud. Still a little bit to go from this weekly, but another one that just needs to cool, right? Has just been cooling since this kind of shaky earnings. But again, really was just on a tear throughout the entire year, like most of tech. Really not surprised to see a nice cooling period here in these summer months. So let's see if Microsoft can get back up into this zone of consolidation. Starting to reject it here a little bit. Got this weekly mean here at about this 317. So just keeping it simple, right? As always, I'm just looking for a good level to put on some risk. I really like this level here with this weekly mean, bottom of this consolidation, right? Had all these squeeze clouds here. Just looking to short here under this weekly mean, or looking for a bounce here if we can get above it, depending on what you like or what you see here as the week starts to unfold. Right, my main thesis for the week again is going to be the shakeup from Nvidia's earnings on Wednesday. Definitely expecting tech names to play along, whether that be some rotation, whether that be some across the board buying or selling, depending on how the reaction goes. But of course, always just ready for anything, right? We many times see them do the opposite reaction of what we expect to a positive report, to a negative report, whatever it might be. So just staying very hyper aware of all these things, right? And then we got Uncle Powell Friday morning during the session. Netflix, again, one of my favorite names, and I know I say this all the time, but I'm going to say it again anyways. Netflix, one of those names that doesn't really move. If you look at a daily chart, sometimes, right, you get some legs, but then she goes sideways for a long time. Kind of tough on equity if you're buying, let's say, in this general area, right, for a long time. We see Netflix do a lot of this. But I trade options, right? We trade options. I don't care if Netflix doesn't go anywhere for weeks or for months. Right, what I do care about is that Netflix intraday goes places, right, and makes some decent legs. I'm always looking for two things when I'm trading options. First one is this ATR column, right? I want to see a decent number in this ATR column, and Netflix is one of those names. Up here near 12, right? In the recent days, it was 14, 15, not too long ago. But usually a pretty strong number here from Netflix, right? Nvidia as well, another great one. I don't care if Netflix sits here at 400 for weeks and weeks on end, right? What I care about is that during the session, I got a leg from 398-ish to over 405, right? That's a solid 6-7 points there. And on options, as we know, I only need to capture about 2 or 3 of those points to really make some good money right here, right? And it doesn't really matter the direction. I don't care. Netflix doesn't go anywhere. Again, I'm just here to capture some legs, right? I'm not going to jump into this move right here at open to the downside. Maybe I catch the bounce, 406 and some change to 410. I can get a solid 2 or 3 whole points in there. On one move, right? And then maybe that rejection back down. We're talking 410 to 402 8-point leg, whatever I can get out of there. I get my piece, I go home happy, right? And again, I'm talking about a 2 or 3-point leg in this 8-point move, right? A 2 or 3-point leg is like Apple's entire ATR, right? Like Google's entire ATR for the day. And even though I chart these names heavy because they are the big movers of the market, I try to really mostly just play some of these bigger ATR names. Apple, I really haven't played that much since the split, but Apple's the biggest name in the S&P, so I'm going to chart Apple because Apple's pretty much a gauge for general market direction. But anyway, first thing, ATR. Second thing, we go to Netflix option chain here. And Netflix has decent volume here on the chain, right? The second thing I'm always looking for options is good volume. I want to be able to get in and out of my positions quickly, and I don't want the spread to be too insane either, right? These are some bigger contracts, so a 30-cent spread here, not too wild. But especially on some of these other names like Apple, right, the spread is usually a cent or two. You're not going to get screwed just by entering the position. So anyway, back to Netflix here in general, right? Looking for us to get back above this daily squeeze bottom right here and use it as some support and maybe start to make a move back up, maybe visit the top here of this daily squeeze that's starting to form up near this key psych level of 450 as well. Love that as a target back to the upside here. And of course some stops on the way, being all these daily moving averages. So definitely got some work here for Netflix to the upside. Again, still just cooling down as well from this earnings report. Did put in a bigger time frame H here and flushing it now. So something to watch out for as well. Definitely a target to the upside is the base of this H right here. Just mark it with a level real quick. This 411, call it 412 here. Definitely a major level I'm watching for Netflix. Need to get back above the base of this H right here, right? This is a lowercase h, a very typical pattern we see in downside price action. And we also have here to the downside daily Ichimoku bottom, of course, seeing a lot of those here in these last couple of days, and we're going to continue to see it here over this next week at about this 385. Really like that here as a downside target as well. Throw some spaghetti on real quick. Don't got too much else down here. So yeah, really more than anything, looking to hold this daily squeeze bottom that has popped up here on Netflix. Nvidia gonna be the star of the week here for sure. Honestly though, I'm probably not even going to attempt to play Nvidia until Thursday, of course, because these contracts are without a doubt very expensive. Haven't even looked at them yet, but I already know. Not a surprise. But Nvidia here, really like this setup going into this week. Obviously been a stronger name here in this downside, really been trying to hold up. Had that monstrous day a couple days ago to get back up to the mean here. But also really like it here on this daily Ichimoku cloud, right? We keep seeing this cloud pop up here in all these names, but Nvidia here really trying to hold the top. Started to crack into it here a couple of days ago and got that monstrous day to blast us out of it. They let it fade here again, just kind of softly. And let's see if these same buyers step back in and continue to hold the top of this cloud. Right, they already kind of did it here on Friday. Holding right here, right? Trying to get back above these daily moving averages. So let's see if with the same intensity that they defended here this day, they will continue to defend it here this week, which seems likely going into in earnings that most likely everyone expects to be positive, right? And we expect a positive reaction. But as always, just looking for a good place to put on risk, right? Always just looking for some levels to risk off. And we have quite a few combined levels right here, giving us a pretty strong level to risk off if it does interest you to play early in the week here on NVIDIA. So again, a little busy here, but we have this daily Ichimoku top. We also have point of control right here, a little bit hard to see. But we did get that resistance right at that point of control here on Friday already. And we have these daily moving averages here, of course. We have these daily squeeze clouds here trying to hold us up and give us some support. We've got a 4-hour squeeze bottom right here. Love to see that. So again, just a great level here to risk off. We also have our daily mean kind of approaching here as well. A key psych level of 435. Really just keeping it simple. Under this 435, looking for puts, right? If we can't crack through it. But I expect us to get above it, hopefully find some support here, looking for bounces at this 435 to play some longs. But again, keeping in mind that we have earnings on this name Wednesday afternoon after the close, right? We're going to see some heavy manipulation. They're going to crush premium going into open on Thursday. I'm probably going to leave this alone until we see some contracts, right? And I'm hoping it's calls come back, hit beast Thursday morning, and then we ride out from there. Very likely what we could see is them buy this name up into earnings, drop it hard come Thursday morning, right? Crush that premium right back down on the call side, gets all of those calls back to beast, and then we jump in, right? Exactly what big money is doing is what we're trying to do here with our beast levels. They run up contracts, run up names, get everyone to pile in on FOMO, and then, they are the very ones that have sold us all of the contracts on the way up, right? Or have sold you the shares on the way up. They then crush premium or crush the stock, bring it back down, make you panic sell, and who do you sell it to? Right back to them, right? At a cheaper price. They just made that premium off of you and now have the contract back in their possession. Right, that's when we are trying to dive in as well, because they're buying it right at our beast levels. So we jump in, we buy the panic sell come Thursday morning, and then they do the move, right? Maybe it's not right away Thursday morning, maybe it's Thursday afternoon or Friday, but we're going to be safe putting on risk at our beast levels come Thursday, right? If we lose our beast zone on those contracts, we dive out, right? We bail out, we can always re-enter. I'm always okay with taking a little scratch at our beast zone. I'll take a little cut there, and then I'll jump back in as soon as price action starts to look favorable once again. But all right, let's move on. And again, just save this for Thursday is my recommendation. Because I didn't even look at the contracts, right? I was about to just go right through that. Because I already know that right here, yep, 120% here on this fair value for these contracts. And oof, my gosh, 22.9 here at the money, 24.75-ish. Oh, no. I'm definitely not paying all of that to play NVIDIA here before earnings. That is crazy. So we're going to leave that alone. Come Thursday, those contracts are going to be like $2 or $3. So we'll see. Q's, just going to quickly run through this, right? Just like NQ, just like all our indices. Looking for some support here at this daily Ichimoku cloud bottom, right? Looking for some support as we start to really grind into this third Kellner channel to the downside. So not going to spend too much time here. Again, weekly mean, kind of my main level here to the downside. And we got a nice psych level of 350. Let's dive into some contracts here. And some daily contracts, right? So let's see, for Monday, it looks like we got some calls here at Beast, a little bit closer to at the money. Let's see their value in comparison. Kind of even. Okay, let me look back at this chart real quick. Maybe we hold this 355 on a pullback right before we go higher. Always expecting a little bit of a shake-up those opening 30 minutes of the session, right? Especially the opening 30 minutes of the week. So maybe we get a little pullback before going higher. Let's check out this this 360 call right here. Has some really good volume. Ooh, maybe this 358, because if we get a pullback to 355, yeah. Actually, let's look at that 358. Oh, we don't have Beast on it. I'm sure we will tomorrow, but let's see if we can find Beast on a neighboring contract just to pull information. And the 360 is what I was looking at originally, and oh, yes, I like what I'm seeing, right? So again, you know, what I'm doing here is picking my contracts out for tomorrow, right? Quite rarely do I show up at open and I don't already know what I'm playing from the night before. This contract, or this price action on this contract that expires tomorrow, this is from Friday, right? So already I can see that big money is accumulating this 360 call on QQQ, right? And again, I love to see this on these bigger psychological strikes, right? Nice whole number here of 360. They bounced right at our beast zone here provided by our beast tool multiple times, right? All of these levels here were here at open as soon as this first candle printed, and every single time price action got back down to the 70 cents, right? They bought it right back up, and a strong buy back up, right? Got back down here, they let it fade, and a nice strong buy back up, and right up to our opening range sell zone, right? Really love to see this too. You know, if you're a member and you use our tool here every day, right, I love to see this. I know it's a little hard to see here in this shaded zone, but that open level, this thicker dashed line here, is right inside of our main beast zone, right? So we have some really great combined support here. And we saw it in action on Friday, right? They accumulated this call here very nicely. And so let's see, right? A little overnight theta, maybe that little pullback we talked about, right? We'll get this again back to beast. So, you know, if this is a little more affordable to you, this will be a great contract, which will likely open right again at this beast zone, right? Maybe at 60 cents, maybe at the 70 cents. And we get that pullback or something of the sorts, right? We get the pullback, and then it gets down here and opens down here. Maybe we get a little bit of pre-market pullback, and then we get a rip out the gate. But regardless, looking for this contract here at this beast zone. And if I like what this 358 looks like here in the morning, I know I will likely have the tool will pick up this contract tomorrow, and I'll have some levels here. Maybe we'll see this back at, right? We have the same kind of price action, right, as that 360 call. So I'm assuming that beast is going to be right around here at this 1.3, 1.4-ish. So maybe we see again that pickup right around there, right? And let me see if I had a good guess here on that 358. No, about 50 or 70 cents. Sub B zone is going to be pretty down there. We'll see. We'll see what tomorrow looks like. But again, you know, always just trying to pull information here the night before. This 360 call provided the info I needed, you know, I know in general the couple strikes and on what side I'm looking for, right? Really like this 360 call here. Alright, let's jump over here to SPY. Again, the same kind of setup here with our indices. Looking for some support here at this weekly mean, at this daily Ichimoku bottom, you know, as well from these from this third Kellner channel to the downside. So let's just dive into some contracts here again. And we'll take a look at both sides here. So like to see here this 440, this 439 here at Beast. Let's just start here with this 440. And we'll check out this 435 put on this side. And so here again, right, kind of a similar setup to that call we saw on QQQ. You know, we see some nice accumulation here right at our B zone. Getting a rejection of the top of that zone here pretty much to the cent. But holding on, right, holding on to the bottom of our zone. A little bit of price action here below it. Don't love that too much, but holding above that open level, do love to see that. And again, you know, as I start to get closer in strikes, I will see a similar pattern here of price action, but just higher up on our zones. Right, so here we go, that 439, also at Beast, a much cleaner hold here of our Beast zone. So again, just to point out here that I already know what strikes I'm going to be looking at here tomorrow morning. Let's maybe step one closer, see if our tool picked it up. Even better here on this 438 call. Really love to see that hold here at about this 70 cents. Looks just like that QQQ call, right? Got above it and holding it here almost to the cent a couple times. So again, just looking to repeat this move. You know, honestly, like this is what we're looking for here to just play over and over again. You know, I'll play this 70 cents to $1, $1.02 as many times as you'd like, right? I don't care how many times we do this. I'm happy to buy down here and sell in general somewhere up here near our opening range sell zone, right? Or whatever beast level we have here above. So really love to see this, right? We see it every single day. Our price action just respecting our beast zones here on these contracts. And again, right, I'm just looking for this to keep repeating, you know, or to eventually break to the upside because they've been accumulating it above our zone. You know, and that's ultimately what a really, really good trade here looks like with our Beast tool, right? We have chop here. We have, you know, a little bit of a squeeze happening. But we get in at the bottom, we sell at the top, right? We get in at the bottom, we trim some more on the way up. We just keep doing this until it breaks, right? If it breaks in our favor, we should still be holding some contracts the entire time, right? Never fully selling our entire position. And then we just ride out with whatever we got left, right? Or if it breaks against us, we eventually bail out for a small cut, but what happened? You know, we got our money on the way out of this break, right? So hopefully you've actually paid for the position in this chop by the time it breaks against you or for you. And that's ultimately what we're really looking for here in reference to our Beast tool. And let's check out this 435 put here. A little bit busier here, especially from that downside price action on Friday. Or that upside price action, I'm sorry. So yeah, just looking for a test here of our B zone, right? If we do see this put work its way down to our B zone, we should be getting some fuel here on the call side and on the equity, of course. So where we find or look for bounces on the call side, I'm looking for rejections on the put side or vice versa, right? So just seeing some questions here in the YouTube chat. So we do code all of these beast levels here in house. We do have all these tools coded here. We do try to like deconstruct what market makers are looking for. We don't specifically have market makers coding, but we have had ex-market makers use our tools here in the past and have really given us some nods that we're definitely really chipping away in the right direction of how they tend to flow money here through the market. And unfortunately, we do not provide these beast columns just yet here for our members. This, unfortunately, we can't hide our code in this just yet, but we do provide a spreadsheet which gives a very similar information here to our members. And I'll just show it here real quick. Has the strikes here on the left, has our columns here, our beast columns, and then a bunch of our take profit levels, which are our other beast levels that we provide there in our beast tool. But definitely feel free to drop in our Discord. You know, we do have the links here in the description. We do provide a free version of our tool every Thursday here. We have a free day where we open up all of our paid services to free members and just kind of let anyone who wants to test drive our system give it a little go. And to your last question here, no, this is just the beast tool provides all of these levels. And so typically we have our main beast zone, this highlighted like green zone right here is a pretty stable zone throughout the week. And then we have our intraday zones for when price action isn't quite down there yet. We have these intraday zones, as you can see them labeled here, each day kind of move with price action. So we still have some beast levels to play with every single day. Mike, I am sorry that you haven't had access to that, my man. Message me after this in our Discord, and I'll get you in touch with the professor. He just has to invite you to it. We do try to kind of keep everything reined in around here because we have had some bad apples try to dissect our tech here. So we try to keep everything under wraps and keep everything very closely monitored. But you know, I do talk about it from time to time. So yeah, let me know for sure, and we'll get you the invite into the spreadsheet. You know, I know it's very simple to get you in there. But I got one last name here, and then we'll wrap this up. Tesla here been getting its little butt kicked after this earnings here, really digging deep here past our third counter channel to the downside. So again, Tesla, one of those names that really needed to cool off after earnings, but really taking it in stride here to the downside. You know, now that we're down here, wouldn't be surprised if we see Tesla come down and maybe test this psychological level of 200. We do have the daily and weekly 200 right here, as you can see in both of these blue lines I have, the solid and the dashed. So it could be a good level of support here for Tesla. Maybe we get a little more downside in Tesla before starting to get that trip back up. So yeah, just gonna let this one play out a little bit more. Let's see if we can get a retest of this mean up here, or again that test of this 200 below. Starting to lose this daily Ichimoku cloud as well, so a little concerning here for Tesla. But again, you know, just playing probabilities, little law of averages here. Pretty deep into this third Kellner channel, and again cracking below it. Just gonna start expecting Tesla to slow down, right? Want to see a little upside action or a little bit of basing before really playing this name, right? really chasing here to the downside. Can it keep going? Of course, right? We have this 200 like I'm talking about, but I just don't love the risk reward here to the downside. So probably just going to keep leaving this one alone here for a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to wrap this up here. I'll take any more questions if you guys got it. Again, we have the Discord link here in the chat, or I'm sorry, in the description of this video. Please feel free to drop in, ask any questions if you are new to us. I'll just give a quick rundown of our Discord here and some of the things that we provide as well. Another one that we code here in-house is these moving averages, right? These daily moving averages here and these solid lines, we're pulling this data down from a daily chart, but I'm viewing it here in a 30-minute chart, right? This is something that we provide here in-house as well. And of course, I have it on the weekly as well, in case the dailies are out of play. And so that's pulling data down from a weekly chart, of course. And then another big one that we have here, very popular amongst our members, is of course these squeeze clouds here. Just a really great way to visualize the squeeze on your chart and really give you like an easy place to put on risk and to take off risk, right? So definitely a popular one here amongst our members as well. All of that is provided here within our Discord. Just going to show it here real quick. We have a channel here called Professor's Indicators. You do not have to be a member here to pick up our tools. We do sell the tools here in a tool pack. We have 2 tool packs. It's a one-time fee of $100, and it includes a bunch of tools. I'm still very surprised that we sell this in a single pack like this for $100. I don't know for how much longer that's going to last like that, but definitely get it while it's hot here. You'll get those daily MAs, you'll get those compression clouds. We have a bunch of other tools in here. You'll get that point of control column as well, which gives you that point of control value, and then I just plot it onto the chart as a drawing. So yeah, definitely a ton of stuff in here to check out. Also, if you just drop in here as a free member, as soon as you drop in here, we also do provide a ton of just general market education, right? I'm always stressing psychology here in the market, so I put together this nice little psychology tab, about just trying to manage emotions, really trying to put the work in here to see some results. But if you work your way down here, I have these intro lessons, just kind of an intro to options. Even if you're more advanced, there's some great tools in here. All of the market internals we use, an explanation of them, yada 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 yada. But all this free to anyone as soon as you drop into our Discord right here. And again, that link is in our chat. But if y'all don't got any more questions, I'm gonna wrap this up here. I hope everyone has an excellent rest of your day. I will be on the mic tomorrow at Open for the opening half of the session. So definitely make it out to that. And again, we do a free Thursday every single Thursday here in our Discord. So I definitely recommend coming in, checking out our tool for free. You'll get the levels on your chart for free. Hopefully we can earn you your subscription before you even subscribe to us, right? That's really our goal here. But yeah, if that's it, that's it. I will catch y'all later, again, on the mic tomorrow at Open. Everyone have a great day. Later.